obligatory opening exposition background of the game, so please bear with me. I wanted somebody to voice record this, but he has been busy with something. I don't know, shipping boxes or something like that. So
that guy
always so busy.
I know. Been trying to talk to him about other stuff too, and gosh, it's like he's got a business to run or something.
I'm sorry. Okay. Slow Facebook. Okay, go ahead. All right, so we can do Twitch.
What's that?
I think we can do Twitch.
Do you have what is in your? I'm like, it looks like you just lost a bunch of teeth. I'm like, geez, you might want to eat a lemon or something.
I had to dress up for the character that you gave me on my
out. Hello, Dungeon Doodles. Welcome back to the chat.
He's probably just smacking his head and saying, "These guys, I tell you what, they wouldn't get anything done without me."
I just like that his character is like staring straight at my face right now.
Yes. All right, we should be streaming on Twitch.
Hello, world.
Oh, there we are.
Hey.
Excellent.
There we go. Roll20 does not like me.
What is the bars and chair look at it? It looks like a bikini. It's like a thong.
Yeah, we'll have to, for the next time, we'll have to figure out some other chat client so that we're a little less screwy with the Roll20 bit. But all right. All right, so I'm going to give you the legend of Rapparathic here, so bear with me. Pay attention, take notes. You will be tested later.
Oh, no!
That's all we tested.
Yes. So many hundreds of years of good allied to destroy the main temple of Orcus in the ancient city of Zar. With their temple in ruins, the surviving high priest of this accursed demon god fled the city with an army of enemies on their trail, an army of heroic fighters, clerics, and paladins led by Zelkor, a powerful wizard. The exact fate of these evil priests is unknown, for not only did the remnants of the followers of Orcus disappear from all human reckoning, but so did the army of light that followed after them disappear as well. Some said that in the eternal scales of loss of so many good men was a fair pay to rid the world of so much evil. The evil cult, however, had not been destroyed. The surviving priests and their followers instead settled on a hill near the Forest of Hope, a sylvan woodland near the coast road. There they found a vast underground complex of caverns and mazes, carving out a volcanic intrusion beneath the hill. The priests of Orcus had found the perfect lair to continue their vile rituals. For many years they carried on in secret, hidden from the light and from the knowledge of men. Many years later, their underground delving completed, the evil priests erect a hideous mausoleum and graveyard atop a hill. It is believed that these graves are the final resting place of the pursuing army of heroes that had been destroyed to a man. Soon after the mausoleum was erected, the peaceful creatures of the wood began to disappear. Though many rangers and druids investigated these happenings, the cause of the creatures' disappearance was not immediately determined. Some years later, a powerful group of adventurers, led by Beaufred, a high priest of Tyr, investigated the evil happenings and found the sunken graveyard leading into a labyrinthine complex. Beaufred and his companions found great hordes of evil creatures. Though some of his companions returned from their expedition telling tales of fantastic treasure and ferocious monsters, Beaufred was never seen again, lost in the catacombs beneath the cursed mausoleum. For the last century or more, ranks of adventurers had ventured to the newfound dungeon. Many fell prey to bandits and monsters in the surrounding wilderness. Rumors suggest that those who survived to reach the mausoleum and sunken graveyard, most were slain by guardians of green stone, perished near the entrance. These rare few who return from the deeper treks speak of horrible undead and creatures that cannot be slain. All who have explored Rappahatnock offer this one universal piece of advice: don't go down the well.
But is there treasure down the
Okay. Well, what other one are we gonna do then? Because obviously, we go down this well, and
Well, well, well. I guess we better get started.
Yes, well, you got a little ways yet. We need to whip you greenhorns into shape.
Are
So
you,
let's fast forward. Let's fast forward.
I don't
to
know who
the-
you're calling green. I'm a proper war surgeon.
I'm actually brown.
So let's fast forward to the present. In 3517, a crack adventuring party was sent to a prison tower by a military tribunal for a crime they probably did not commit. These adventurers promptly escaped from a castle stockade to the eastern provinces. Today, still wanted by the crown, they survive as adventurers of fortune. If you have a dungeon full of cultists, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the DC team. So,
Yeah. Who's that?
yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first session of Dungeon Crate's stream of Rappahatnock, Dungeon of Graves. For those who aren't familiar, Rappahatnock is a mega dungeon campaign published by Frog God Games, and they recently had a Kickstarter to convert this massive dungeon to D&D 5th Edition. So I figured it would be kind of fun to run the DC crew and whatever poor souls we can grab for a given session through this campaign. Dungeon is, so expect some hilarious disasters to befall our hapless heroes. And whatever metagame knowledge that you might know, don't rely too much on it, because there's a lot of expectations that are going to probably be shattered. So we will go ahead and let our brave adventurers introduce themselves, going from left to right. I am DM Floyd. I will be facilitating this bloodbath.
Hi. I am not the DM. I haven't even named my character yet. We just got here. Move on to Joseph over there. Aurora, introduce yourself first.
So I'm Joe, or Aurora, and today I'm going to be playing Valka Hedricksoni, who is the war surgeon, a barber surgeon experienced in the battlefield.
Very good. Santa.
all right, I'm Gravy. You can call me SantaCon, though. I'm a first level celestial warlock. I'm a half orc. And, hold on, let me get to my bio. I am the finest of toy painters in all the lands. Do not challenge my skills in pigments nor hues.
Great. I'm Pete. I'm playing Dotzoren. I am a half-elf bard who is known for being something of a con artist.
Okay, I'm Chris. I'm playing Ariella Fadark, just a wood elf rogue standard. I just like to steal
She
stuff.
does not reveal
a lot
her,
of it.
She does not reveal herself to us.
Nope. Standard rogue. Like to steal stuff. We're good.
So are we to watch ourselves?
Uh, usually if I'm working with people, I won't steal your stuff, but we'll see.
That leaves me. Okay, yes. Let's look. Because Floyd just has me down as Wayne's Barbarian.
So what do you want your name to be, Wayne?
What should I have my name be? I think.
Smash.
No. Look at his intelligence. 9, obviously. All right, let's go with Groff. Son of Bob. 'Cause he was-
Rolf?
Groff. B-R-O-T-H.
Spelled-
Groff. Son of S-O-N-O-V. Bob. B-O. Small b.
that time either.
That was his father's name. He liked the women rough, and of course, orcs are rough. Orc women are quite rough, terribly rough. Okay, and I will not go into all that since I haven't read it yet. But yes, where am I from? Being an Outlander, Floyd, you made this. Am I from anywhere exciting that we know of up north?
Let's take a quick look at the world map here.
Hmm.
You can pick a place wherever you want to go. Because
This is where we're actually
I
playing.
don't know much about any of it. So
You know all of this. Okay, let's go back to the chat here so we can see that. I have a black screen.
oh yeah, let me fix the permissions. No dynamic lighting.
Ah,
Did that work?
Yes, excellent.
I see a mausoleum.
Yes,
Benzo
yes.
Valley Theory.
All right, we're gonna pull this back a bit. See a little bit more. Everything for everyone. There we go. Excellent.
there we go. Kind of.
Being where we're at again, where we're going, where this well is.
Ah, okay. Well, I guess we will, since we have introduced everybody, we will
What's
get to
Carter's
the
compound?
we'll get to the magic here. Hold on a second. Let me get my crap loaded up. All right. Your travels take you 150 miles down the Canyon River into the wilds of the eastern provinces to a region known as the Forest of Hope. The sparsely settled land is known for little beyond the legendary Rappanathic Dungeon of Graves. Knowing its many dangers and hoping to find redemption in the eyes of the crown, you have joined up with an adventuring guild. Guild Master Ranicus Har has decided to build a chapter in the far-flung river town of Zelkor's Ferry, named for the great wizard who sacrificed himself so many centuries ago to stem the tide of Orcus's evil cult. Crammed between the confluence of two rivers and the fortified walls that span the thin peninsula, Zelkor's Ferry offers shelters but little comfort. Here at the Bristleback Inn, you are to meet Azar Thrain of Hollowfell, leader of an adventuring company known as the Firehawks, and senior members of the guild.
All right, looks like we're getting some echoing going on here with the audio.
You know what? That may be me. My headphones won't work, so I'm playing this off my laptop.
I just pulled up the Twitch stream to check, and no, it's not just you. There is some echoing going on.
Okay, well, let's see if this works here. But I turn that off of that so that they probably won't be able to hear me. Well, they should be able to hear me just fine, but I don't know.
Like,
How about that?
What did I do? Oh, damn it.
Okay.
You didn't break everything,
Fog
did you?
of War. Fog of War. Let's look where we're at here.
Beautiful dynamic lighting, Floyd.
I'm using one of heroic maps for Zelkor's Ferry because I like the detail of their maps, and I'm a Patreon subscriber, so I have my monthly fee. So if anybody likes these maps, I would definitely tell you to check out Heroic Maps on Drive Through RPG. They have a ton of stuff, especially if you play digital, but you can print it all out too. And there's my testimonial for the day.
Not a big deal, but Volka doesn't seem to be snapping to a square. Okay.
Maybe I just want to sit
You
on
guys
top
can
of the
spread
table.
yourselves out.
Actually, knowing my character, I will probably be like
Ooh.
way back in the corner.
Can I sit at a table?
Can you?
So this is the Bristle what?
Bristleback Inn.
And we're
There's
here to
a
eat.
kind of surly-looking fellow behind the bar, and he says, "Hi there now. Don't think I've seen your lot here in Zelker's Ferry. Are you staying the night or just here for a bit of meat and ale?"
We'll start with the meat and ale and move on from there.
I'm more interested
Oh.
in the ale.
Said something about meat. Do you have any raw vegetables?
Raw vegetables.
A little rough in my stomach.
He says, "Well, my prices are
Right.
firm. My latest shipment of goods is nearly a week late, so choices are limited. 5 coppers for a mug of ale, 8 coppers for our beef and root vegetable stew, served in a big trencher, and 2 silvers for a night in the inn."
Mm.
And he
Well,
says,
we should
"Before
order
you load, oh, he says before you load up on ale, though, I want you to know I'm Odo Bristleback, proprietor of this here inn and unofficial leader of this town. You caused trouble in Zelker's Ferry, you caused trouble for me. And let me assure you, you don't want trouble with me."
Actually, I think Roth is over sitting at the table, waiting for, looking around, waiting for a waitress of some sort, maybe, possibly. Think
If
something
you
about
call
this.
my character a waitress, she will murder you.
Yeah.
If I don't wait, then she's not a waitress.
Yeah. So a barmaid comes along and says, "What are you having?"
Roth, I would like some stew and some ale as well. And,
Oh, okay.
He'll order some food stuff there and listen to what the barkeep is saying to Santicon and Dav. Taking a look at this area, this character over in the. Do we know each other here or no?
You guys have traveled. So you guys have traveled with each other, yes.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, how much you've revealed to each other about each other's, pasts or whatever is up to you. But
Knowing my
you have
character,
traveled. You've traveled several days with each other, so.
knowing my character, you guys probably don't know a whole lot other than she has a long sword and wears like chainmail. So
Good enough. Good enough.
What am I observing from like in the room? Like, what can I tell that the other patrons are doing?
It seems kind of like your normal sort of, let's say, like working class tavern. A lot of people with dirty hands and rough appearances, just kind of doing having the very small talk that farmers and artisans tend to have after a long day in the fields or at the anvil. Nothing out of the ordinary, or no characters that look seedy or suspicious.
Hmm.
And
they all need to wash their hands, though.
well, they're not the ones prepping the food, so you have, at least you hope not.
So those 3 in the corner over there, they're not talking about anything in particular?
Nah, they're like, talking about the weather and, oh, well, hopefully the crop is good this year,
Hmm.
Old farmers in a diner type of sweet talk.
Okay.
We're just here because we're in between. Is that correct? We're just here for.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, you're
rest
supposed to
and relaxing.
you're supposed to meet up with a fellow by the name of Azerthrain.
Do we know what he looks like?
In this bar?
Yes. And
The dude behind me?
no, that's just like a minstrel,
Oh.
not a fancy bard, just a guy that can play a lyre.
rolls an average
So,
of 11.
Yeah.
Performance.
So Odo looks across at Santa Khan and Devzarin and says, "So what brings you to Zelkor's Ferry anyway?" And I changed voices for some reason, inexplicably.
Let's go over here. Oh wait, we're listening.
So are we here to meet again? I'm sorry.
Azothrane.
Azarthrane. Ah, hi, yes. I know Azarthrane, another crazy adventurer looking to conquer the Dungeon of Graves. Him and his companions will be here just after sunset, I reckon. He can sit tight till then. And he kind of leans in to the two of you, and he says, "If any are part of this adventuring guild, I suggest a word of caution. You're not the first group that Azarthrane has been given command of. And if you don't keep your wits about you, you won't be the last. Another group came through here nearly a month ago. Azarthrane sent them ranging to the south near some ruin, and they ain't returned."
Well, that's not encouraging.
And I'm assuming that you mean they didn't not return because they retired on their vast wealth, is what I'm gathering.
If they retired on their vast wealth, they certainly didn't come through here to spend it.
I see.
I mean, there are more expensive places to spend your gold, I suppose.
And then, almost on cue, the door opens and a group walk in. Their gaits confident as they kind of peer around the room with their, sort of self-satisfied glints in their eyes. Clearly adventurers. So they seat themselves around a long table, and a tall elf, clearly the leader of the group, beckons to the barmaid. One of them, a dwarf, casts a glance at your group and nods in affirmation, and then they turn to conversing. And then it's just appeared in smoke.
They all
You
use
made
face
it
up, right?
Right.
Already, we're looking for.
Oh, I see your tokens are much smaller than ours.
Therefore, we are better than you.
I'm gonna.
And as you guys are kind of like walking toward the table, the elf on the back of the table kind of looks up, kind of pipes up, and he says, "Well, look here! It appears they finally shipped us our next group of goblin snacks. Did Renuka send us some more goblin snacks? Come, greenhorns, let us get a good look at you." And he elbows a wild-eyed warrior next to him. "What do you think, Uldric? Fodder for the altar of Orcus?" And the others at the table kind of laugh good-naturedly.
Hail and well met, my dear friends. And may I ask your names?
And the elf says, "I am Azarthrane of Hollowfell. Next to me are Edrene, an elf of some renown, Meseric, and he goes through some, Marcenter and some other names that you probably won't remember.
Already forgotten.
Already forgotten. So,
Once he finishes, Valka pipes up. Azarthrane, you're full of yourself, and unless you've seen actual battle, I don't care for you.
Oh, well, of course we've seen actual battle. That's why we are the Red Hawks.
I'm sorry.
Firehawks.
Can you
Didn't
spell
get his
that?
own name right.
I'm sorry. Can you spell that for me? I have never heard of you.
Neither have I.
Well, you
They
guys are
haven't.
from the west. You guys are from the Westlands. Here, it's a completely different law and reputation. But don't worry. We will give you plenty of opportunity to make your own names for yourselves.
I don't have to make a name. I already came with one.
Yeah, but our group doesn't have a cool name like these. There's something about a group when they walk into a tavern and they have a group name.
How about Fire Eagles?
Why not the Phoenix? It sounds a bit better than fire something or other.
Ah, yes.
Single creature. What do you name a group out of this?
And we can rise from the ashes of this group.
So they're here. We
Anyway, very
I,
jocular.
I really gotta not look at Twitch chat because it's gonna just make me laugh, especially all Dungeon Doodles various quips. So, so Banner, and you can tell he's kind of he's confident, but he's good natured. He's not not uh, he's not being too rude. But he says so he pulls out a sheaf of parchment and kind of slaps it on the table. Or actually, who has the highest charisma in your group?
Probably me.
Let me check.
I have 16.
I have 17, I think.
Oh.
I have 13.
I have 17.
So
Wow.
so he goes over and slaps this parchment in your hand, Velka, and says, "I like your attitude." and he points down to the parchment. And he says, "That there is good fortune, friends. That's a deed to Castle Kalaylin, purchased by the guild in Renderby to use as a base of operations here in the Eastern Hinterlands. It used to belong to Orlinda Kalaylin, a very rich but not very clever elven noble. One of her descendants, Maybeth, used the castle to set up an adventuring party named the Great Downwards Engineering Company." He kind of like scoffs at that name. Their great noble purpose was to rid Rapanathik of its evil and profit from the process. After a highly successful expedition, so the legends say, Maybeth became obsessed with finding the missing prince and princess. Gesundheit. And she sold everything she owned, including the castle, and set off on a second expedition, never to be seen again. So he dusts off his hands. Your first bit of work is to go to this castle, clear the place of rats and whatever vermin you might run across, and appraise its condition. Bring anything you find back that you don't that you don't keep, and we'll put it towards your guild training, using the funds to help restore the castle. Now, go on, get some more ale, enjoy a bit of R&R, and get ready to head out to Dawn's first light.
Question.
And here is where I explain to you guys how the XP system in this campaign works.
Oh,
So, any unspent gold and gems can be tithed to the guild in exchange for training. Training converts treasure into XP at a 1-for-1 conversion based on the gold piece value. XP will also be awarded for story goals. No XP will be awarded for defeating monsters.
What?
It sounds reasonable.
So we buy XP or earn it through progress.
Yes.
So basically,
it's
a drive to get us to go deeper in the dungeon because we need the gold for training.
So
or we could just keep the gold.
And it also doesn't incentivize trying to murder hobo your way through the campaign, which is a sure way to death.
Darn it! I
But how
kind of
sure-
wanted to murder hobo as well.
I flipped the table.
I mean, nothing says fun like grinding on goblins. So
Why do hobos want to murder people anyway?
Nick,
Because
does
people
he
want to
have
murder
that
hobos?
now? Did I see where he put that deed?
Well, he doesn't have it with him.
Oh,
Or actually, no, he did actually hand it to. Sorry, he's handed to Velka.
What's the name of the castle
So-
again?
Velka's going to start flipping through the deed and looking at all this stuff and just sort of nod.
Nod knowingly.
It all seems on the up and up.
Seems reasonable. At least
Okay.
enough to convince the half angel.
Oh. highly overthought. Yes, you are. So I take it the rest of the night we get to just hang out.
You get to carouse, do whatever you want.
Rouse, yes.
well, thank you very much, my fellow Red Hawk or my dear Red Hawks. Would you mind buying me and my lads around for our introductory night of adventuring?
They all kind of look to each other and they say, usually works the other way around. But I suppose I could enjoy your boldness. He said, yes. Odo, make sure that they keep their stomachs full and their livers inflamed.
Here,
Yes.
here.
Do I see any of their gold pouches just kind of chilling? Legitimate
Um,
question.
Locked up before you even get out of here, are you?
Like,
probably,
per se, if I
probably
just
not
kind of
among the
stumble, can I do
probably
a
not among
roll?
the. There's probably not much among the regular crowd. It looks like more of a. This looks more of like a copper piece in than a gold piece in.
But I kind of really want to take something from that group. There's nothing
No,
I
you
can
could
do anything about.
try. You could try. There's a dwarf here who doesn't. He seems already half into his cups.
Wait, what do I do?
We're gonna
And you
get
can see he looks very friendly and forgiving.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be BFFs. Tell you what, I'll drink them under the table, and then I'm gonna steal all the stuff. It's cool.
I would like to see this.
Valka's
Well,
going to
go
note-
ahead and give us a sleight of hand check.
Actually, I would like to distract the guy to give her advantage by dueling banjos with the liar guy down here.
Perfect.
All right. So okay. So you got advantage with the.
Work together.
To distract people.
How do I roll a check?
So if you click on your token, there should be some buttons that appear at the top.
To the left?
The upper left, some buttons should, like a little bar full of buttons should pop up.
Okay.
And then there's a button called check. And then there will be a drop down
Oh,
that you
check. And then what is that? Sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yes, no?
Well, you got advantage. So you managed to. So you kind of lean up, and the dwarf is kind of clapping along with the playing of the Devzarin with his duet with the minstrel. And he's like, and then like you kind of just sort of slip in and like lean on his shoulder a little bit, kind of like you're bopping along, and then you just managed to reach your hand right into his coin purse and palm 5 gold pieces.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. I give to Farzan 2 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you very much.
I see you.
So Valka is going to mention to the group as a whole that she is a surgeon and is available if anyone's got any medical issues they need to be taken care of.
Do I
Oh,
add my gold pieces
Oh,
on
that's
here?
right. Are you playing a surgeon?
I'm playing a barber surgeon, yes.
Oh, yes, a barber surgeon.
I've got my leather-working tools, so
Excellent, because we all have really cool haircuts. It's gonna be the best party ever.
And at this, Valka's going to go back into the corner and sit down and read her book again. If anyone catches a look at the book, it is a book of anatomy and basically is made up of images and text of dissected humans and orcs.
Oh, nice. At least it's not surgery for dummies.
I imagine they were.
My hands are totally steady.
Who's this chick?
Why is the surgeon drinking coffee again? All right. So yes, let's stay.
Party.
Cool,
Alright,
we're
so-
hanging and partying. Who's the one in the red? Who's the redhead?
Ooh,
That is
Sassy McSassy Pants. I think she said her
that
name
is
was.
Kalina.
Kalina? Cool.
Yes, and I'm not. I think she's a half elf.
Because we're just staying here the night, right?
Yeah. You guys are leaving at first light of dawn.
Cool. I
Oh,
invite
she's
her
leaving.
upstairs. I'm out
Well,
for the night.
She's way higher.
let's see that persuasion check.
So much higher level than you.
But I'm cute. Where's persuasion? There it is.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Luckily, you had it
Ugh.
again.
Yeah, she's kind of like sorry, lass. I have
I'll buy
other
her a drink.
plans.
Actually, where's that dwarf at?
What?
Just going to roll
The
to
one-
seduce the entire table, one by one. Find a
I've-
womanizer.
Somebody who is
Embarrassing, can't
Boom!
pay for
Give me the dwarf.
a dwarf. It's like, well, lass, you do kind of look my direction, don't you? Slurring his words. It's like, I don't think I've spent the night with an elf.
Cool. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, please.
And then I'm out for
We'll
that.
do what-
Have fun.
We'll do what Margaret Weiss in the annotated chronicles called the boot scene, which was named after named after the scenes in the original Star Trek where, like, Captain the captain would seduce some alien, and then you just panned the camera to the next scene where he's putting his boots on.
Right.
the
Oh, yeah.
next day. So
I'm like, I don't care.
this is a this is a PG-13 podcast. So.
I'm just saying, you guys have fun. Now it's all on you guys.
All right.
All right.
So the next, you guys kind of do your normal pre-adventure carousing, and the next morning, Azerthrane meets you at the inn, and his companions are all kind of dressed for travel, including the dwarf who comes stumbling down the stairs, putting his boots back on. And he said, "We are going to be faring across for a 2-day reconnoiter of the road to the east, where we've heard some banditry has been taking place." So he gives you a map of the region, and he points to where the castle is. He says, "Stay on the road as long as you can. The wilderness is full of hungry beasties."
Yes, including this one.
I was going to say, what if we're more hungry than the beasties?
Right.
Good.
Feel free to eat the beasties.
You got to prove who's hungrier, I guess.
Right.
Is there a role for that?
Command,
There's several
jump
roles.
into the fire.
We call it survival.
Could also be intimidation.
That's fair.
Map. Where are we supposed to be looking at this, Floyd?
Let me get you a token here. Oh, that's too big. There we go. It should zoom you to Zelkor's Ferry.
Here we are.
And which way is the castle? To the west?
Yes, the castle is right there.
I'm not
Looks very crappy.
Well,
very safe.
if it was clean and well tended, this would be a really dull adventure.
It's a good thing I'm a mason and a carpenter.
Be prepared.
I don't think this is a D&D HGTV series, right? We're not just here to fix it. We're not Chip and Joanna, are we?
You don't know what kind you signed up for, do
You
you?
said we're gonna renovate your tower.
Hey, it looks like a wonderful place for me to set up a new surgical laboratory. Might or might not be ethical. I don't know. I'm neutral.
I guess that depends on if you're trying to do good research or actually help people.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no one here to help, only people to torture.
Do we have horses? That's what I would like to know. Or wait, are we? Yes. We have horses?
You don't have horses unless you're buying horses.
How much are horses?
Um,
Why is no one a druid? Why can't you just turn into like a cheetah?
Hey, everybody ride the cheetah because that might encumber the cheetah.
Is there a halfling?
Let's just sprint for 200 yards and sleep for the rest of the day.
Yes.
All right. Well, so I take it we're doing a land journey then, to walk about.
Yes,
to get
and you can see the road there, which was the road that you kind of, or well, you didn't you came by boat, but the road kind of skirts along the river there.
Got it.
Mm.
All
Right.
right.
So you spend the better part of the morning with the sun at your back, rising lazily through the hazy sky. The air hangs heavy with the cold damp that chills through your traveling clothes. Just as the sun starts to burn off the morning fog, you see a hulking silhouette loom into view. It towers over the road, huge reptilian wings spread wide, and ram's horns framing its angular head, toothy maw also open. Putting your hands on your weapons, the mist clears, and you can see it is not but an enormous statue overlooking the bridge ahead, one arm outstretched pointing southwest.
I knew that was a statue.
I've forgotten. Valka's supposed to be German, so I guess I'll try and do a German accent. So,
Good luck.
this appears to be very fine architecture. I would like it very much.
Like in your house, your home.
Yes, it would look lovely.
It's fine and well enough, but unless we're going to find the artisan who made it and steal his gold, it's not going to be any sort of treasure.
I'm only in it for the
Depends on how
treasure.
many slaves you could get to tow it for you.
Was it? So is this blocked by any way, or are we just walking?
No,
across it?
it's so yeah. It doesn't block the bridge. It's kind of off the bridge, and you know, the bridge is pretty old, but it's a solid stone bridge.
Are there any inscriptions or writing on the statue?
No, nothing. No runes. No nothing.
All right, let's go.
So Valka's going to take some notes of it really quick, and then go on.
We'll walk
No,
across.
Valka, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Yeah, you're too engrossed in what you're writing down to notice anything out of the ordinary.
It is very pretty.
But is it anatomically correct, Doctor?
I don't know. I specialize in orcs and humans, not in the dragons.
Oh, pity. They seem to be more fun.
Well, maybe I will get the chance to add them to my book later. You'll have to slay one for me first.
Ah, challenge accepted, my dear man.
How big is the statue? Is it like 20 feet tall?
Yeah, it's close to like 12 feet tall, I believe.
Are there any like gems or anything on it, or is it just like a plain old statue?
It's just plain old stone. It looks like kind of native stone. Nothing
Worth anything?
The geologist in me screams.
I think I'm already halfway across the bridge.
Yeah, I there's no gems or anything. I'm just going.
We'll note it as we walk across.
Mm.
This will be
Yep.
a perfect place for an ambush.
Probably.
Should we ambush somebody? Is that what you're suggesting?
Right? Yes. Good.
Well, then, if we want to ambush someone, I would suggest to take a place on either side of the bridge, not in the middle.
That's the best fishing.
Is anybody going to stand on either side of the bridge?
What do you
I will.
mean? We're walking across it, right?
Oh, okay.
Do I have anything special I can?
Started walking across the bridge.
All right, yeah. So you walk across the bridge, and nothing interesting happens, and you can continue on your way.
Excellent.
We missed something. Let's go back.
I will hail everybody that is still looking at the statue from across. Hello, hey.
Valka's gonna hustle a little bit to catch up.
All right. Is everybody else following?
Yes.
Yep.
Come on, rogue, do roguey things.
I'm trying.
Like on the top of
I want
the
to be able to
statue.
I want to be like
Looking like-
hiding. I think I can
Hiding
use
on a brick.
trance. No, Mask of the Wild. I just want to be like stealthy. No one can see me.
FYI, whoever's streaming, you probably want to scroll down the chat bar because it's showing back at the persuasion checks and stuff.
Oh, there we go. That's my screen.
Yeah, can I use Mask of the Wild?